Welcome to Flourish TV. Today, I am going to help you train Claude to create that avatar for you so that you know exactly who you're speaking to when you're doing all the things around your business, because this is so important. This, I would say, is probably one of the most foundational things that you need to know and have figured out before you create content, before you do anything else in your business. You need to know who you're speaking to. And we're going to use Claude to help us kind of create that, but then also we'll be able to teach Claude this step so that Claude knows exactly, or your AI, whatever AI that you're using, they will know exactly who it is you serve, how you serve them, what their pain points are, and so much more. This is such an important thing. I know that whenever I'm starting to do anything, I'm writing content, working on my newsletter, planning this here for you every week, I know that I want to make sure that I'm talking to the person that I'm meant to talk to. Where is she in her business? What are her pain points? All those different things that gets her up and makes her worry in the beginning of the day or at the end of the day, looking at it and thinking, "Oh my goodness, what in the world am I doing? What am I doing this for?" And so I want to be able to help you do this so you have it specifically written for that person that you are serving. One of my favorite quotes is, "You are most powerfully positioned to serve the person you once were." That's one way that I was able to find who I speak to. But I'm going to try to make this very simple for you so that you can maybe ask a few questions, use Claude to help you or your AI to help you kind of formulate who you're talking to. Now, I think a lot of work you can do ahead of time as you are approaching this. You don't have to use AI for all of this because you're going to know some of this yourself. But this is going to do is just really help you think about maybe some of the questions that you didn't think of, and it's just going to go a lot faster. But it's really going to help you nail down who it is that you're serving. And don't be afraid as we walk through this to challenge your AI platform, whatever you're using, and saying, nope, that's not quite right, or I don't like that, or I feel like she's more like this, or really, really share as much as you can about her. Now, I've given you a few resources in the past. I have my Growth Vault that really walks you through all of these questions that you can go through before you bring this to Claude. I also have my brand template that helps train Claude how to do that and has a lot of those questions in it as well. So if you want that Growth Vault, just put Vault in the comments. And if you would like um, the brand template, there's lots of videos that I've talked about and I've used that. You can just put brand in the comments and I'll get that for you. But so I would love to ask you, you know, if everything depended on what you were doing, who is it that you're speaking to? Who is most important to you when you are creating anything that you're doing? Because if you don't have that nailed down, if you don't know exactly who you're serving, how you're serving them, and why you're serving them, what you provide for them, then really your content's going to fall on deaf ears. If you don't know who you're speaking to and what she really needs, exactly what she needs, then you might be talking to the masses. And I know we all have things, wonderful things that we want to help everyone with, right? Because we feel like everybody, when we have a business or something we're excited about, we're like, everybody needs to know this, right? But I promise you that the more we narrow down and really identify who we're speaking to, it's going to make a big difference. And so I want you to be able to help stop you from feeling like you don't know what to post, or you don't know what to share about, or you don't know what to write about, or whatever it is in your content, and be able to be like, I know exactly what she needs. So today I'm going to show you again how to use Claude to build a clear, specific picture of that ideal client, the woman or the person you are actually trying to reach. And I'm going to try to do this live on Claude so I can share my screen and show you what I'm doing, and you can kind of follow along. Or you can just come back or save this so that you know as you're working through it, you'll know the steps to walk through to be able to do this. And so I am going to I'm really excited about sharing this because this is a heart. And once you have that clarity on who you're speaking to, it really will make a big difference. It will save you time as you're planning all the things that you're working on, and it will help you connect with the woman that you really want to connect with. And so we're going to jump in here and let me see here. Let me get this stuff ready here. So I'm going to get my screen ready here. Okay, and I'll share my screen. Tell me if you are here. I would love to know if you use Claude, if it's something that you've used before, and if you have your avatar uh, figured out. If you know exactly who you're serving, I would love to know that in the comments. If you do that, I'm going to really try hard to look at the comments, though it's difficult when I'm sharing my screen. So you should be able to see here and see this is a brand new screen, a brand new chat for Claude. Now, Claude knows my avatar ins and outs because we've spent some time together. I've trained Claude and I've walked through those different templates that I talked about before. But so I'm going to start with something really different so that we can set Claude up to help us. And so I can do this kind of in real time so you can start building your business or building the avatar, that foundation with that ideal client very honed in. So you know exactly who you're talking to and everything. So, but when you know her specifically, like I said, you're going to be able to really connect with her. You'll know exactly what's causing her to struggle. What are the things that she lies in the middle of the night thinking about or waking up about, or all those different things. You know what, that is really who you want to speak to. And the more you know her, the more Claude knows her, then the more your content and the things that you create inside there is going to be better. So we're going to go through this. And what I'm going to do is switch to, this is not in my brand, and I'm going to have a fresh start. So I'm going to paste in something here and move this here. So we'll just do this fictitious business and we'll put it in here. So it says, in here, how can I help? So I put in here, I help busy moms get their homes and lives organized so they feel less overwhelmed and more in control. My client is a mom in her mid 30s with young kids at home. She feels like her house is always a mess no matter how hard she tries. She's watched organizing videos online, but nothing sticks. Can you help me build a detailed profile of this woman? Okay, so it's simple as that. So you can give a little description. If you don't know who, you don't have much information yet, that's a great way to start. Just giving, you can see in this example, it says, who she is, around her age, a little bit about her life, what her problem is. Okay, so those are kind of the biggest things here to start with. Okay, so we'll go in here, and as it's working, like I said, if you need help with some of these questions to really nail that down, I have the Growth Vault. It's a Trello board loaded with all your steps, and you can just put Vault in the comments and I will send that to you. And I have a video in the beginning explaining how to use it and so much more. So definitely grab that if this is something new for you. Okay, so it says, here's a detailed customer avatar for your client. I built this out the way a marketer would use it. Demographics, daily reality, emotional drivers, and the specific language she'd use to describe her own problem. So look at that. Boom. All of those things that I was talking about. It's like meet overwhelmed Olivia. Look at Claudia even gave her a name already. Ages 34 to 38 years old, married, or partnered. So you could say, if she's married, then you want the woman that's specifically married. Maybe you want to say, hey, no, I want her to be a single mom. Who are those people that you're helping? So this is just what Claude has put together for me. 2 to 3 kids, roughly the ages 2 to 9, still in the thick of hands-on parenting, not yet kids clean their own room stage. Okay. Works part-time, full-time, or as a stay-at-home mom. But either way, she's on from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. with no real switch off. So this is another area where you could get more specific and say, oh no, she's part-time, or she's a stay-at-home mom, or she's a work-at-home mom. Those different things. Household income is middle to upper class. Okay. Money isn't the barrier, time and mental bandwidth is. So maybe this is what Claude is creating. Now you are going to know that person that you are serving the best. And so maybe they are someone that has middle to lower income class, or maybe money is something that she worries all the time about. So those are things you keep in consideration as you go. And lives in a house that's enough space but never feels big enough for what it's accumulated. So it goes on and on and on. It says mornings are scrambled, backpacks, lost shoes, someone's missing homework folder. She does a reset most nights after kids are in bed, but wakes up and finds it already sliding away again at 10 a.m. So you can see her toys are a problem. She has a bunch of half-finished organized projects. She's the default manager of everyone else's stuff, but not her own. Then I love this. It breaks it down to emotion. Again, I just did that one prompt, and look at all these things that Claude has already created for us. She doesn't believe she has a systems problem. She she believes she has a herself problem, okay? Shame is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. She's exhausted by the mental load. She craves calm more than she craves pretty, okay? Why nothing else has stuck? Then it gives it why maybe this is happening. Organizing content she's consumed is either like it's either aspirational or unrealistic. That the influencers that we see on that we have to be very careful with because everything looks perfect, right? With that walk-in pantry and everything is perfect together. Or a one-time deep clean with no system for keeping it that way, right? She's tired of buying containers and bins to fix it, but then nothing ends up in there, right? She's watched videos passively, but she hasn't had accountability to actually adopt those things. Her objections. Okay, so as you can see, it is very thorough already. It should be able to figure. I should figure this out myself. That's a pain point, right? We all have done that. No matter what it is that we're searching help for, that is something where I think that a lot of us, especially women, we will be starting to put the blame on ourselves, like, oh, I should be able to figure all of this out. But you know what, it's okay to ask for help. We all do better when we have someone that walks alongside us, right? To someone that can coach us. I have coaches and mentors in my life, and I am here because they have walked me through it. And just yesterday I was working on a really big project for something, and I was running into all kinds of roadblocks, so I had to reach out for some help, and that's okay. It's okay to do that. So you can see it just gives more and more information. It gives like her language to describe her problem. I feel like I'm drowning in stuff. No matter what I do, just goes back to chaos. I don't even know where to start. I've tried everything. I just want to feel like I have it all together. So isn't that amazing? So just that one sentence, Claude is already putting all of this stuff into context for us. Now you could start with this here, but I would say you want to narrow it down even more and ask a few more questions. It gave me a lot more than I expected, so that's kind of fun. But I love how it says, you want me to turn this into a one-page client avatar document, so you can always reference this. This is great, but we're going to ask it a few more questions. And so the next question that I had prepared, it says, this is good, but I want to go deeper. What is she actually thinking about when she wakes up and looks at her home before, here, let me copy here, paste it in here. This is good, but I want to go deeper. What is she actually thinking about when she wakes up and looks at her home before starting the day? How does she feel when she walks through her door after a long day? What has she already tried that has not worked? What does she secretly wish someone would just tell her? And what does she most want to feel about her home 6 months from now? So this is a little bit more detailed, a little bit more, and we can continue to get more and more detailed. So let's see what Claude does now. So you can see you spend time with Claude. Like if I didn't like something, I could have. I'm not going to a lot of time. I probably would have come back with some of the things that Claude gave me and said, "Hey, let's change this up," or "Oh, I want her to exactly have 2 kids," or "I want her to live in middle class," things like that. That's information you can train it. But I'm just trying to show you the process of how you can do this. So let's go deeper into her interior world. This is where the copy that actually converts comes from. What she's thinking when she wakes up and looks at her home. Before she even had her coffee, her eyes are doing an inventory. The pile of mail on the counter that she's been getting to, the shoes by the door, a toy she stepped on at 6 a.m. There's a low hum of dread, not panic, just a tired resignation. Here we go again, right? That is so relatable, right? She's actually mentally triaging what needs to happen next before she leaves the house or before the next part of the day, right? All these different questions. And it says there's also a quieter thought underneath all of it. I fell asleep telling myself today would be different, and it's only 6:15 a.m. and I already feel behind, right? Oh, we can feel that, right? That when you write your content and you're writing it to Olivia, who's feeling like that at 6:15 a.m., that is going to make a difference. That is huge. So maybe these are then it goes through walking through the front door after a long day, and it gives them some ideas there. So maybe here is where I would be like, oh, she's a stay-at-home mom and this is what she's seeing, or oh, she's a working mom and this is what she's seeing. So you can kind of tweak that a little bit. And then it says, what has she already tried? That weekend deep clean, buying those containers. We already read about that a little bit. Influencer methods, right? Apps and planners. How many of us have had a app or a planner or something like that that we have bought thinking it was going to be the answer to all our problems. And then it didn't matter. It wasn't the same. Asking the family to help, attempting them, but then they don't do it, or they complain, or they don't have time, or an activity comes in, or whatever. What she secretly wishes someone would just tell her. It's not because you're lazy or bad at this. She needs permission to stop believing the mess is a character flaw. Well, that's huge. Like, that hits deep, right? You don't need to overhaul your whole house. Just tell me where to start. She's paralyzed by the size of the problem. She wants someone to make the decisions for her, right? So you can see all that. How she wants to feel 6 months from now. It's not perfect, not magazine ready. She wants to feel like her home is on her side. She wants to walk in the door and exhale, not brace. She wants to know where things are without a 5-minute search. She wants friends to be able to drop by with a 20-minute panic clean first. She wants her kids to be able to put things away themselves because the system is simple enough for them to get it, right? She wants to feel, above all, she wants to stop feeling like the mess is evidence against her as a mother. She wants to feel capable again, like she's not constantly falling short of some invisible standard. Okay, so there, just right there, that is amazing. If we put all of these things into your content when you're creating it, and Claude has all of this created for you and you have it saved for Claude, can you imagine the differences in the content that you're going to be creating with this, right? It just makes me exciting because definitely can connect with Olivia. I remember feeling like that at times, especially when my kids were younger and I had all these different things and I had all these ideals, and I didn't even have Instagram at that time where I had to compare myself. So when my kids were little, I didn't have that. So this is just accentuated by all the things that are thrown at us all of the time. And so it says this is strong material for testimonials in advance, a sales page copy, welcome sequences, and blah, blah, blah. Then again, it says, you want me to turn into one page avatar reference for document. So again, that is something that is really going to be helpful to you. And my brand template walks you through some of these questions as well. And then the growth vault helps you get deeper into that avatar. So those are, I'll put those in the show notes, but that will help you. So if you feel like this is overwhelming and you don't even know what to start with that first paragraph that we gave Claude, hopefully those resources will help you. And then let's see, I already have a lot of this, but let's see what it does. It says one more thing that we can put in here that I planned ahead of time. So let's see, it says perfect. Now give her a name. We already know her name is Olivia, a rough age. We kind of know that, her family, kids at home, what keeps her busy, and so on. Tell me what her typical morning looks like before she tries to tackle the house again. Let's think about a morning routine and ways that she can feel like she's moving. The 6 months from now feeling. And all right, let's define her full name. She's married, has 3 kids. How about kids ages 2, 7, and 9, and so on. Okay, so see, I just added a little bit more. I wanted to get a little more specific with everything. So we're going to put this in again, and hopefully this is helpful. If you have any questions, please definitely reach out, put them in. If you're watching the replay, if there's things that you don't understand, or if you find this overwhelming, just let me know. Oh, well, we changed it. She was Olivia. Now she's Emily Grace Carter. Feel free to swap, but this approachable, relatable mom name works well for marketing personas. Okay. She's 36 years old, married to Ryan, together 11 years. Oh, Ryan, that's my son's name. 3 kids. I love it. Owen, Ava, and Mia. 1 dog, a golden retriever named Biscuit. Lives in a 4-bedroom suburban home. Enough space, but every room shows evidence of family of 5 moving through it fast. She works part-time, maybe 25 hours a week, as something flexible. Let's say she does marketing or admin work remotely 2 to 3 days. So she's out of the house 2 to 3 days a week. Ava has dance on Tuesdays, and she's very active friend group social calendar for a 7-year-old. Owen soccer practice twice a week and games on Saturdays. Mia is 2, which means Emily is doing toddler proof. She's also the default household manager. Okay. Don't you love that? Look at how long, how long have we been on here? I don't even know, 20 minutes. And we have such a better picture of who we're serving than we did when we started, when we just said we have a busy mom, a few kids that needs help. She feels unorganized in her home. So it gives it gives her a typical morning of what it's like. So 5:50 a.m. alarm goes off. Then she's got her coffee. Then kids start waking up. Then she has breakfast. She'd have drop off. She walks back in the house. It already looks like a tornado has passed through, right? Then what moves into her? Then let's look at that morning routine after that 6-month feeling, right? The 10-minute reset, the landing zone system, one task, not a list, a kid inclusive habit, the evening anchor. So look at that. Here, right there, as 5 different ways that you can help her. You can write content on that. So if you're an organization and you want to help busy moms, just like Emily, you would be able to come in and say, okay, we're going to help her create that 10-minute reset. It's not a clean, it's just a reset, and a way that we know that a long time ago, as organization comes, Fly Lady, I don't know if she still exists, but she would always say, shine the sink. That was the biggest thing. Didn't matter if you had a whole pile of dishes, she would say on the counter, but shine your sink. That is one thing that you would know that is done. It's kind of like a reset. It's like that one thing your go-to, right? So create these different things for your avatar. Create it for Emily. And then it says the 6-month arc this builds toward. Month 1 is just about proving the reset works and doesn't fall apart. By month 3, the landing zone and daily task rhythm are automatic. She's not thinking about it anymore, but by month 6, she walks in the door and exhales because of instead of bracing, right? Because the system has survived contact with real food and real chaos for long enough to finally trust it. So then it's going to move on. It says, do you want me to build this into a 6-month client journey map? We're not going to do that right now because obviously that's another day. So now what I would do is I would take all this information and say, this is awesome. So let's just right here, like, this is awesome. Now, please put this into a simple PDF so I can easily reference this. Okay, we're just going to do that. Be simple is enough. And so here, this is basically kind of what I talked about in a previous episode, how you're creating that brand template. So what I could do is, if you go back to one of my other episodes, and I will link it in the show notes before, you could take this brand reference document. And again, if you need help with that, just put brand in the comments and I will send that to you. But then you can take that and then you can create a project inside Claude, which I talked about in a different episode. And I showed you how to create that. And then when you start content, or you're starting to create content for Emily or whoever your avatar is, you can go inside that project and Claude will always have all of this reference in there. So you don't have to prompt it at all. Be like, hey, I'm writing some content for Emily this week. Let's focus on that 10-minute reset this week and the ways that we can help her. And boom, this is what's going to do. So you can see I love how Claude kind of tells you what it's doing. It's creating a skill. I didn't ask it to do a skill, but that's okay. Oh, it's creating that here. So here it's coming up here. Let me see here. So here you can see. Now I use my brand colors because it still does know me. But it's like client avatar reference, home organizing and overwhelm, calm to client profile, age, meet Emily Grace Carter. And again, all these things that we talked about, it puts about her emotional core, what she's thinking when she wakes up, walking through the front door after a long day, what she already tired that hasn't worked, right? What she secretly wishes someone would tell her. So you can go in here and then it gives her a typical morning, right? Then the routine that would help her in the 6-month arc, right? So here in just a short amount of time. You see, we were able to build an entire framework of who our avatar is just by having a few questions or a few statements that we put into Claude and asked a few questions and prompted it a little bit. And now we have all of this information that we can then use to create the content. Last week, I taught you how I created 14 reels in a really quick amount of time. And so now you would be able to take this information and do the same thing. Say, hey, here's Emily Grace Carter. This is who this is who I am, right? So this is who I'm serving. Let's write 14 reels, 10 reels on how we can help encourage her, knowing her pain points, all these different things. Please write some content for me. And so with the brand template reference guide that I talked about, we do also talk about the other parts of your brand that are important to know as well. You want to know your avatar, your tone of voice, the ways that you want to say things. You don't want to sound like any other AI content was created. You want something that's created for that person that you are speaking to. And so you can use that template to hone that in your avatar, but then also your voice of how you want to speak to her as well. And so again, put that if you want that brand template, put brand in the comments. And if you're like, I don't even know where to start with my avatar, the Growth Vault will help you, so you can do that. And if you're really really like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do, then I would say, just put audit in the comments, and we can I'll send you a little clarity audit that you can complete, and then we can just jump on a quick Zoom and we can just talk about maybe what it is that you're wanting to do, and maybe just a few questions will help you. We can help you maybe even get to the right step that you need, whether it's understanding who your avatar is, or is it connecting your AI to who you already know what it is, or if there's an area in your business that you just aren't sure, or you're like, I want to start but I don't even know where to start, right? So just put audit in the comments, and I would be more than happy to send you that application to apply for that free clarity call. But really, I come here every single week because I want to teach you things that I'm learning along the way. I'm not perfect, but I love being able to show you things that help you save time and give you that clarity so that you are focused on the things that are important to you. And so I would love to I continue to show up for you. And if there's different things that you want help with, if you see something in AI or tech that you are just stumped by, or if you need more clarity in a certain area, just message me, comment below, send me a message. You can find me on pretty much all the social media platforms, on Instagram at steph.book, and you can come and ask me questions, and I would be more than happy to help you find your voice so that you can connect with those people that you care about, that you want to reach, because I know that you have a passion for what you're creating, and I want to help you do that successfully. So please remember that you are worthy and capable of living a full and successful life. Sorry, full and flourishing life. Oh, goodness. Success isn't just possible, it's meant for you. See you soon.